protection. And it's just, I apologize. This was not on my calendar. I knew this was coming up, and I was asking for times and such. But so I don't have a PowerPoint presentation, but I'll be glad to sort of go through in sort of general terms on what we're doing here with this tenorm study that we've just launched here. We've been talking about this for a number. Well, we've been dealing with tenorm in the oil and gas industry here for probably 10, 20 years, and mostly on the waste side. As many of you know, the department regulates tenorm through the solid waste regs right now. My program, the Bureau of Radiation Protection, we do not directly regulate the tenorm. We're sort of an internal advisor to the solid waste program. We assisted them about 14 years ago when we developed the regs and for the solid waste radiation monitoring action plan programs. This study has stemmed from what we've been seeing in the solid waste area, and it's sort of three basic concerns. One is we want to make sure we don't have any environmental contamination issues that we're not aware of. Secondly, I don't have any indications to this may be the case, but I want to make sure that I don't have worker radiation exposures that may be exceeding the public radiation dose limit. There's various criteria we use in radiation protection. We have radiation protection limits for the public. In our yardstick is milligram. We use 100 milligram as the limit for the public dose limit. Workers are allowed to get up to 5,000 milligram if they're occupational radiation workers. So we want to make sure we don't have any workers that are on well pad sites or wastewater treatment facilities that might be exceeding the public dose limit. We don't have any indications that that's the case, but we do want to make sure that is the scenario. And lastly, we'd like to look at the wastes that are being generated, in particular the sludges that are coming out of wastewater treatment facilities, and just be informed on the quantities of material coming out of these facilities, the levels of activity. Right now, we operate, again, as an internal consultant to the solid waste program. We do this Form U process, so we get a look at the material that's being proposed to be sent to a landfill for disposal. So we want to make sure it's appropriate and protected. The way the solid waste regs are structured, we've got a provision in the solid waste regs that allow disposal of tenorm as long as it's protected for public health and safety requirement. And the approvals come back, unless it's a small quantity, which is a very small volume of low activity, it goes back to my program to review. So we've been doing that and tracking that. The sort of second piece on the solid waste is the cuttings, and that's what we want to look at too with this whole study is the vertical and the horizontal cuttings. We don't believe we have any issues with the vertical cuttings, but we have had some indications that some of the cuttings in the wet gas area are setting off radiation alarms. All the horizontals are going to the solid waste facilities right now. So. And I don't see a problem with that disposal of the cuttings because we know pretty much they're in the sort of 10 to 100 parts per million range for the uranium, but we just do want to make sure we've got a good handle on that and the variability. And so we're sort of looking at this, it's sort of a cradle to grave. And it's not the order of the actual study, but it's going to be a look at the drilling, the fracking, the flowback water, the processing, the transport of that water, the processing of that water, these sort of wastes that are generated. Additionally, we want to look at the gas itself because we know that, again, this is Marcellus shale formation has 10 to 100 parts per million uranium. In that whole radioactive decay series is radium 226 and radon 220, the stuff you hear about when we do our outreach in January for people's homes. This radium 226 is in the soil and natural soils and rocks, and we worry about radon getting into people's homes. So USGS just published a publication. It's a limited study. It was about a couple dozen samples, but we're we're going to be sampling gas at the wellhead, at various compressor stations and downstream and in storage. We've been talking to the folks that actually store the gas through the summer, and even the gas that comes up from Texas gets put in these storage reservoirs through the summer, and then utilize them there. So we'll be looking at that gas for radon. Radon is as you probably know, it's a noble gas. It doesn't react chemically, it doesn't react with anything. So even coming out of the well through any sort of dryers and downstream, it won't react with anything. That's sort of bad news. The good news is it's got a relatively short half-life. It's got a 3.8-day half-life, so that decay time. The worst case scenario that I kind of see is again, as you folks know, we're looking at conventional and unconventional wells, would be I believe it's only the conventional wells that are utilizing gas sort of near the wellhead. They do leases. Yeah, there may be some leases that allow home use. So the worst case scenario with radon and natural gas would be the sort of home user, somebody who's got one of these high efficiency vents that may burn natural gas without any vents. Most people that utilize natural gas, propane, have vented heaters, hot water heaters, and dryers, that sort of thing. So the radon's going to go out with the vent. But the worst case scenario would be that unvented home. And we can do calculations once we have the number for the. And right now, the USGS studies it looks good. It's been. What USGS saw was like one cubic area per liter to about 70 cubic areas per liter. And we see homes even without natural gas, just from natural rock and soil that often exceed 100. We just saw we're working on a house right now that's got 800 cubic, brand new house, 800 cubic areas per liter. So that's time frames. Thanks. We're looking to, we've got the sampling schedule. We're starting with the liquid wastewater treatment facilities. We're going to be moving into the well pads and the gas collection areas. Landfills, we're going to be looking at the landfills themselves through the summer here. So we're looking at about 12, 14 months. I'd like to have all the sampling done in the next 12 months. Our laboratory is going to be doing most of the samples. We've got a secondary lab set up for about 10% of those samples, QC. And then report writing. We'll probably start writing the report as the data starts coming in. Hopefully finalized in a year.
So are you doing this all in-house, or are you using a consultant?
We have a contractor, Permafix, Andy Lombardo. He and his staff have supported my program for over 10 years now. They assisted us in all the solid waste development of those regs and all the modeling, such as the Sharp Certified HB, good staff, good modelers, and they're out there now, out there do the field work. The way we're doing this, they obviously have no regulatory authority over these facilities, so the way we're working this, the program, be that waste, water, air, whoever holds the permits for the facilities, those DEP people will be on site with Permafix and our radiation protection program.
So who's doing the sampling then? DEP employees or Permafix?
Well, it's Permafix in the facilities. You know, we obviously can't go up to a gas spigot and turn on a gas spigot, so we're working close with the facilities.
And will facilities be named in the report as to where?
Well, that's a good question. Right now, that's sort of open. I don't. I would like to, basically, sort of, frame it as wastewater treatment plant ABC, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I was going to say if you do think you're going to name specific locations, that those people at those locations, I don't know if it would be advisable for them to take split samples and.
Oh, I think they will be. I think the industry's already looking to do some split sampling. The reason I'm sort of hedging on this is based on this past week, there's definite security concerns. We just identifying exactly where the gas compressors are and that sort of thing. So we're reluctant to exactly identify which locations.
And you expect them, over what time frame to have this kind of wrapped up and draft ready?
The sampling, again, I hope within the next 12 months. We got a little late start, so hopefully the sampling will be done in 12 months. So we're looking to do the whole thing in 12, 14 months. So as the data comes rolling in, we'll be starting to write probably sometime this summer.
Are you asking operators to cooperate with you?
We do. I've got a fellow in the field ops, Dan Husted, has really been super and working with the facilities. I got Bob Lewis in my radar division, who's sort of my technical backup. So the three of us are, Dan especially has been working closely with identifying which groups we're going to need to work with as far as wastewater. We've got pretty much all the wastewater folks lined up. We've got two gas groups coming in to start talking about the schedule, which well gas sites. We want to kind of do right from the beginning, the full all the phases, the vertical. You know that it takes time, so we'll be coming out several times. So we're looking at vertical, drilling, horizontal, racking. We kind of want to make sure we've got that geographically distributed across the state, wet gas, dry gas, and again, the conventional wells up in the Oriskany, especially the Oriskany formation. We've seen with the conventional oil and gas industry, this Oriskany formation does tend to have elevated uranium, thorium levels in it also. So the brines that we've been dealing with over the last 10, 12 years, the elevated uranium, thorium. Interestingly, the Marcellus shale tends to have less thorium 232 series than the Marcellus shale. Let me say that again. The Marcellus shale has less thorium. The Oriskany has more natural thorium, radioactive thorium. And we want to look to Utica too, so any opportunities we have to look at Utica. And we're also talking to DCNR, the state geologist, and get into some cores that may be out there in their libraries. I tell you, this has got a lot of interest around the country. I get calls from my counterparts in Arkansas, Colorado, and such, and I think it's going to be a very good study, and I think for anybody else that's dealing in any of these plays, they should be able to use this and just look at what they have for uranium, thorium, and whatever plane they've got are dealing with, and be able to pretty much scale what their issues may be.
Any questions? Thanks, Dave.
Okay, thanks. We'll keep you posted. Apologize. Make sure this. No, that's all right. Let it come down. All right. Okay. See you again.
Thank you. Scott, is there anything else? Okay. And motion to adjourn? Second? All in favor? Aye. Thank you, everybody. Safe trip home.